Hey guys, Mike here. We are pouring a house floor today, and you are going to love what ChatGPT says about my concrete mix. Now, if you're a regular, you know the type of concrete mix I use, a 3500 PSI with fiber mesh, water reducer, and you know that water reducer, because I've told you so many times, helps you pour a looser, more workable concrete, but not affect the strength. But most people out there, they don't have a clue. They do not know that. So I asked ChatGPT what water reducer does to concrete, and this is what it spit out right here. Now you can pause the video real quick and read down through that, but pay particular attention to the very last sentence. Water reducer helps you place and finish a stronger, denser, and more workable concrete floor by enhancing particle dispersion and reducing the water demand. So what's that really mean out there? It means that, yes, my concrete looks loose, it does look wet, but it's really not. The water cement ratio is really, really low on this. Hence, that's why we don't get any callbacks, guys. That's why we don't have trouble with our concrete floors. We saw cut them the same. We power trowel them, we saw cut them. We don't have trouble with the floors. There's no wire in here. There's no rebar in here. It's inside a concrete foundation, number one. Where's the floor going to go? The only thing that could happen to this is if the excavator doesn't compact the subbase properly, then maybe it could settle, and then the floor could crack and the crack could open up. We don't have trouble with that. If I show up on the job to shoot my grades and get this thing ready, and I feel like the subgrade isn't compacted right, I just don't do the job. I don't pour it. I have the GC call the excavator back and tell them to get back here and fix it. And then we go ahead and pour the concrete floor. So no, the concrete's not wet. No, it's not going to all break up and crack up just because it doesn't have wire and rebar in it. Now that I've educated you on that, we can move right along and get this floor poured. Now we're working in a housing development today. We've poured a lot of houses and garages in this development. This is one of the basic sizes right here, 36 by 28. It's got a garage on it too. The tripod with a camera is actually sitting right in the garage, and we're going to pour both the house and garage today with the two trucks we got coming. So we filled both trucks up as much as they could handle here in the state of Maine. I think there's 21.5 yards on both the trucks, and we're going to get both these floors poured. Now this video is just going to have the house. The next one will have the garage, but I wanted to leave the video kind of in real time just to show you like how we attack a simple flat, basically a flat basement floor. That red pipe you see down to the left is a floor drain. So the floor is going to slope to that just a little bit. And that's kind of in the utility area of the basement. So, I mean, the basement's never really going to get wet after they get the house built on top of it. But sometimes they like to have a place to drain the boiler. So again, left it in real time. I cut out probably like 2, maybe 3 minutes of just dead time, like in between trucks, stuff maybe moving a chute or something like that, stuff that just bore you absolutely to death, more than what I'm boring you right now. But I wanted you to see just like how fast the four of us have to move to get a floor like this down, especially with the water reducer in it, like how little pulling and pushing we have to do to get the concrete in place when you use like a high range water reducer or a mid range water reducer. Now our concrete companies that we schedule concrete with every day, they automatically put the mid range water reducer in it. So you're paying for it whether you ask for it or not. I guess it just gives them a better product too. So they just add it right to the mix, mid range water reducer. Now if you want to pour it a little bit looser than say like a 6 or a 6.5, then you just ask for the high, and they add a few more ounces of this stuff. So basically they're putting in like, it's technically by 100 weight of cement. So if there's, let's say 6 bags of cement in a yard of concrete, that's roughly about 600 pounds of cement in a yard. It's actually closer to like 550. You know, they're giving you about 3 ounces per 100 weight. So you get about 15 ounces of that water reducer per yard in the concrete. Just in case for you technical people that really want to know just how much they're using. It's not a lot. 15 ounces per yard 10 yards, 150 ounces, basically not even really a gallon of water reducer per 10-yard mix. So it doesn't take a lot to really help disperse the concrete and make it easier to work with. I think we get charged basically $2 a yard, maybe $3 a yard for high range extra. And we probably pay for a 3,500 PSI mix. I don't have my prices right in front of me, but I know we pay right around $155 to $160 a yard. And then it's about $7 a yard for the fiber mesh. So you can add it all up. I just figure, when I figure concrete off the top of my head, I'll figure it about $175 a yard with tax and all that. And that's pretty close. And we're pouring, most guys up here, they'll pour a 4-inch concrete floor in a basement like this, a 4-inch floor in just a simple basic residential garage is all we've ever poured. Ever since I started doing this at 15 years old, we've always done 4-inch thick concrete floors, never had any trouble with them. You can see Darren kind of he kind of flipped the chute around, and that's our chute flipping trick. If you haven't seen that before, I've had it on quite a bit of other videos. But that's a neat little trick for pouring over the top of the wall like that. It really helps keep the splatters down. And then you can see you can move it back and forth a little bit, so you can cover quite a bit of area without having to use like a tremie or anything like that. Now I'm shooting the grades, and you can see I've already shot one in back, so we'll set up a self-leveling rotary laser. That's actually from DeWalt, as is the power screed we'll be using. That's from DeWalt too. DeWalt sponsors us. They send us a lot of tools, and then we put them in the videos. And some of them are sponsored videos, some of them are just regular videos like this one, but they've been a really good company to us. They got really good tools. But what I'm doing is I'm shooting my grade pad in the middle. We wet pad everything. The outside edges, we float those to a chalk line that we've already shot on there with a laser. Snap a blue chalk line or a red chalk line on the wall, then we can mag that. And then in the middle, I'm just waiting for a little bit more concrete. We shoot a wet pad. I use the laser with the receiver on my grade stick, and then once I get that right to grade, what we call right to grade, I put an X on it and I circle it, and that tells everybody that that's right where we need it. That's perfect. And then we can strike off from that. You'll see that in a second. We can strike that off, and then that's what we use to get these floors nice and level. Typically, I don't really need to go back. Honestly, I don't ever get callbacks about our floors not being level. We just don't. I bet if I did, though, if I went back with a laser, let's say the next day or 2 days later or whatever, and shot grades, that this floor would be within about 1/8 of an inch at the length of the screed. So that's a 14-foot screed that we'll be using. So the floor would be within 1/8 of an inch in that 14 feet, which is pretty darn level for doing most everything by hand. You got to figure, everything's got just a small margin of error to it, especially human error. Just tilting that grade stick one way or the other just a little bit will throw the laser off. I mean, the laser has a tolerance to it, and then obviously when you see us run the power screed, that has a tolerance to it. The better you are at it, the better the rakers are, the flatter or the more level the floor is going to be, whatever you want to call it. But generally, what we found or what we've heard from the builders that follow us, that our floors are just really about as flat as you can possibly get them. So that's always good news to hear from, especially the high quality builders we work for that follow behind us like this. So we're going to get what we normally do, and this is the way we've done concrete forever, is we will basically just dump out the first truck. So if that's 10 and a half yards, we know just about how far that's going to go based on it being 4 inches thick. We're not worried about it setting up too fast on us because we know what we're doing. We know how fast we know how long it's going to take to get this down. We know how quick the concrete's going to set up because we use it every day based on the outside temperature, if we're in the sun, if we're using accelerators, just air temperature, stuff like that. So we'll get that first truck dumped right out. And one of the reasons we do that is, number one, it gives us more concrete to work with because we get it down pretty fast. But secondly, it gets that truck back to the dispatcher really quick, and he likes that because he's got other jobs lined up after us. So the quicker we can get him dumped out and get him back, the more maybe he can get one more load in a day because we're not holding the truck up. And he knows that. So when we call him, we get better service, in my opinion. And we always get, like, if I want concrete up here at 5:30 in the morning, he'll have it up here at 5:30. If I want it at 6:30, he'll have it up here at 6:30. So he's pretty flexible that way too, because he knows, number one, we're a good customer. We dump the concrete out fast. I always pay for my concrete the same time I get the bill. So I get the bill, call them up, I pay for it, so they're not waiting for their money. That gives us really good service. Just little things like that help make the job a lot easier for us. When you pour concrete every day, like we have concrete lined up every day of the week for, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks in advance, because we have so many jobs like this that we do. And, if you don't get your concrete lined up for first thing in the morning every day, and you, let's say they have a busy day and they can't get you concrete one morning, I mean, that's basically that's our bread and butter. That's how we make our money. Not that we can't make money doing other things like forming up other jobs, or, maybe doing an epoxy coating or something else a little bit different than just pouring a concrete floor. But that we have so many people that we work for pouring concrete floors that we got to get them done every single day, unless it's raining. So Darren, Luke, Eric, they're over there trying to empty out that first truck, just get them dumped out. Again, the garage is going to do, and then there'll be a little bit left in the basement. We'll finish off the second truck. But the sooner they can get, that's Josh, I think, the driver, the sooner they can get Josh, emptied out, he can pull ahead, wash down his chutes, get back to the plant. It's going to be about 35 minute ride for him to get back there. And I'm going around that drain because we're gonna power screed everything. And that drain's about a 1/2 inch low. So the boys can just kind of go right around the drain using the power screed. We'll show you how we do that and not mess up the slope to the drain. And then, when they come on the floor later to power trowel it, then if it does sag at all, if it sags a little bit at all around the drain, they fix that during the power troweling part when the concrete's still soft enough where you can manipulate it a little bit, maybe cut it down, shape it. Right now it's really soft, so it's hard to hold it shaped too much. That first truck, that went quite a ways, so we're in pretty good shape as far as not running out. I don't think we've run out of concrete yet this year on a job. That usually happens once or twice a year for some reason or another. So Luke's running the power screed, 14-foot board on there. We like those triangular boards, the ones that are enclosed. And his job basically is just to watch both his ends, make sure his ends are scoring. You can see the line he's leaving. Make sure he's scoring, a nice even line. And then Eric and Darren, their job is just to make sure Luke's got enough concrete, but not too much. They don't want him to be low, but being really high is actually even worse, because then that stuff will just vibrate back under the concrete and leave you a nice little hump. Now, when he screeds like this, again, there's going to be little tiny imperfections here and there. Just human. That's just being human, right? That's about as good as you're going to get it right there, honestly. But then when you come run the bull float across it, that smooths out any tiny little imperfections. Now you'll see, you don't always, because of how flat we screed, you don't always have to bull float 90 degrees to the way you screed, like a lot of people say. If you don't screed very good, then yeah, I would definitely recommend bull floating that way. But what we found is we can just bull float whichever way is more convenient for us, because either way the concrete is really flat, and we never have trouble with it not being flat. So if it's easier for us to go, not have the bull float handles run into the 8-foot concrete wall trying to run it 90 degrees, then we'll just run it the long way, the same way Luke just went. And then when we go to power trowel it, we can tell if something's off a little bit. You can tell if you've been doing this a long time. So that bay went down pretty good. Those are 2-foot panels, so you can count. That was what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8, 20. That was about 22 feet. 22 by 14. He just leveled with that power screed in about 30 seconds probably. So the effort, you can look at the amount of effort Luke's putting in using that screed. It doesn't look like much, and it looks really, really easy to use, and actually it is really easy to use. You just got to get the hang of being able to run one. If you've never run one before, there's a little bit of a learning curve, just like there is to anything. But once you've learned how to run one like that and get your concrete the way you want it, in other words, not real humpy, then you can screed a lot of concrete really fast with that. People ask about the battery on that. That battery, I don't know, we've done, if you're just doing residential stuff like this, that battery will last probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 floors. I don't even know if we've recharged one yet this summer. I mean, they gave us quite a few of them. We charged them all up. I think that's still the original one on the original charge. And I don't know how many floors we've done. We've done a lot of floors, but if you think about it, like how much time are we actually using it on this floor? Maybe 2 minutes total, tops. If you were running that on a big job, let's say 15,000 square feet, I bet you could use that whole battery on a 15,000 square foot pour without having to, take it out and put in a new battery. That it does last a long time. All right, so there's Luke. He's got 4 6-foot handles on there, so he can reach about 24 feet. And you can see being able to screed both bays like that at the same time gets the concrete down really fast. And then while we're working on that last piece, Luke can get this bull floated, and by the time he gets that all bull floated, that last piece will be ready to screed. We'll get that screeded down. That just really speeds up the pour. And again, you can tell by running the bull float over it the way Luke is, if there's an issue, if there's a little hump or a dip, the guy with experience bull floating would be able to tell. By looking at that right there, how nice and flat that is, how easily it's going back and forth. That's really good right there. That screed job was really good. And being able to just go down, push it down, and then pull it back once, and then move over. Again, that's what the water reducer does for you. Look how easily that fills in any type of aggregate. I've seen guys screed on some videos where they're screeding and they're just ripping and tearing the concrete wide apart, leaving gaps in the surface by tearing the aggregate right through the surface. I mean, it's got to take forever to bull float something like that. We don't have any trouble. When we come on this to power trowel, like this will probably be ready to power trowel in about, I don't know, the way things have been going, an hour to an hour and a half. You'll be able to walk on this, set a power trowel on it, stop power troweling, and it'll be the right time. It won't be early, definitely won't be late. It'll be just the right time for that. And then, we use combo blades, so if you do get on it late, you're going to be in trouble. But you definitely can't get on it too early with combo blades. That makes a mess too. So the timing's got to be just right, and that'll float out really nice. I've got all kinds of videos with us power troweling stuff. If you want to see just how that works, you can just go back and look in some of my other videos or my playlist with finishing. You'll find some. Or even better yet, if you want to learn how to do it like we do, you could join the Concrete Underground. You can get my concrete slab course. In there, I teach you how to screed. I teach you how to pour concrete, finish it, power trowel it, broom it. And then I have a stamp course where I can teach you how to stamp concrete. All right, so this is a second driver. Now remember, he's going to do the garage. The video is set up inside the garage right now. We're just going to finish off that little piece of house. What made this one really easy was it had that little walkout part right there. Instead of being all 8-foot wall and having to jump out, climb up a ladder and jump out that way, the people who designed the basement designed it with a little walkout part, so that made it kind of convenient. So this is going pretty good. I want you guys in the comments to let me know if, number one, do you use a power screed? Do you use it like we do? Do you shoot grades? Do you wet pad stuff like we do? Let me know in the comments. If you got any questions about the water reducer, just, again, leave them in the comments. I'm sure you will. If you've never heard of it, now you have. You probably, especially if you've watched the video this far in. But I'm going to let you listen to the rest of the video so you can kind of hear just how everything works. And, at the very least, like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. I come out with a couple videos a week teaching you all about the different types of concrete, how to work with it, stuff like that. Thanks for watching.
That battery operated one, huh? You good? That's a lot quieter than the gas ones. The gas one kind of clogs up the bedroom. Yeah. Make sure it's up, please. Yep. You got enough in here.